Hello, I'm Andrew Dyer, and welcome to another edition of the Roundball Report, the only show in the area dedicated to highlighting the exploits of the high school, college, and professional basketball teams which play in the Washington metropolitan area. And here with me again is my co-host, the one and only Nikki Lewis. There she is. Nikki, we took a couple weeks.
My last name.
No, I was waiting for you to get on camera. We thought I was going to say Nikki Blue.
I thought you were trying to decide which one to use.
No. I was waiting for you to come on camera. See, that was Nikki Lewis,
right.
And then as you got on camera, I finished it. But Nikki, who we had to wait on in the regular season, were the Washington Mystics.
Yes.
But they showed up big time during the playoffs. In the past several years, they've had the workmanlike team to get through the regular season. But when it came time to playoffs, the Catchings and stars like Deladon, who was on other teams, just were too much for them in the playoffs.
Yes.
Now this year they struggled through the regular season with injuries. Chrissy Tolliver was biding her time, and did she show up in the playoffs?
She broke out. She really did. Like, she was asleep. I say she was asleep all season or just wasn't there. But she showed up when they needed her against the Liberty because, in the past, the Liberty has really given the Mystics a smackdown. And Chrissy Tolliver decided we're going to move on to the next round, so let's win. Let's get
Right,
this
and
win.
we're going to move on to our guests, two frequent contributors of the Roundball Report, Mark Gray of the Sports Group and the Shadow League, and Coach Jimmy Fly Hellmann of HSRN. And gentlemen, Mark, we were just talking, that's why he brought her here. That's
Exactly.
why Tebow brought her here.
Miss Big Shot, Christy Big Shot, those of y'all Lady Terp fans from back in the day who sent the Big Shot down to send him to overtime. And as Brenda Freeze would say back then, overtime is our time, playoff time, Christy Tolliver time. And, not to break my arm, pat myself off the back here, but the last time I was here, who called out Christy Tolliver, who said that she was the playing personality that you had to have in postseason? Might be me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Lex Laker.
He said with his purple shirt on, no less, right?
But that's what they've struggled with in the past. And Tebow, he paid a king's ransom to get Deladon.
Yes.
The center has been a godsend because they didn't expect that from her. Because in fact, she was coaching, wasn't
Yes.
she? And I don't know her name right now. If Ed was here, he would yell it in my ear.
Crystal Thomas.
Crystal Thomas has done an incredible job. But you need the scores to be scores, and that's when they stepped up. They had Tolliver and Deladon came through with 18 against New York.
At the risk of using the SAT word, but I'm going to go into the realm of hyperbole here. Classic overstatement. You need a person with a clutch gene, a Kyrie Irving type, to make the big shot when LeBron gets you there. So I'll use the Cavaliers analogy. Elena Deladon may be the LeBron, while Christy Tolliver is indeed the Kyrie Irving. 9 3 balls in Madison Square Garden. I mean, if it looks like Cinderella and it dances like Cinderella, I'm waiting to see if the clock's going to strike midnight right here, bro.
So they have the Lynx up next, Coach Fire.
Well, let's go back to that game first, though, because I think it was 11 total, 11 out of 20, 53% from 3. The rest of the team was 2 out of 14. They've lost all 3 times they played the Lynx this season. One time I was there, EDD did not play, and they were just annihilated. But they've lost by an average of 17 points. And here's why I say it's going to be a problem in this matchup. They are a power basketball team right now with Thomas, Miesemann, and EDD in the back line. They start a big back line, 6'5", 6'6" players. Now, Tolliver, when I saw the Dallas game before, not the playoff game, but the regular season game, EDD had just come back. She did not play well again. And I felt that she was almost deferring because EDD had come back in the lineup.
Right.
And if she steps forward, because you can't be in a deferral mode. She has to score because the defense is going to pack in against the big players, which leaves the perimeter players with spot-up shots that they have to make.
Right.
They have not made them consistently. Minnesota has a lot of speed in their lineup. Maya Moore is a matchup problem. That's why I'm tempering that. Tolliver will have to play that way. I don't think you can count on her making 50% threes,
well, she missed
game
her
after
first
game.
6. So really, her percentage, she went on fire.
My point of the matter, though, is that was a great game, a career game. But in a 5-game series, the better team is going to win out. And I think that's the Minnesota Lynx. When I saw them play in the Verizon Center before it became the Capital One Center, they looked like a team on a mission. Files and Maya Moore, I interviewed them both after the game. They are focused. They were not happy to lose that championship last year on a last second bucket
on their home
Right.
on their home court. And I think they're looking at redemption. And I just think they have too much for the Mystics. Not that the Mystics can't win, but they're going to have to take one of those 2 games in Minnesota and then finish them off at home. Because I don't think you want to go back to, Minnesota if you can even stretch this to 5. I think they get swept.
Oh, wow. So
wow,
there's no
no,
chance.
I don't-
There's
I don't know
no
if I would go with the sweep.
chance.
telling you.
You went all the way to the sweep.
Leave the sneakers at home.
I didn't say don't show up. I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
That's a sweep.
If you get swept, you might as well not have shown
even
up.
show
That doesn't mean
That's
you
like a been there, done that.
I'm just saying the Minnesota Lynx is a better basketball team. That's what I'm saying.
They are.
How many times have
And
we
I'm
seen
saying
the
it's
better
gonna be a
team
sweep.
lose?
But we've seen it's the playoffs. It's
In a
it's
one-game
any
situation, anything can happen. This is best 3 out of 5 in the first 2 on the road on a team that has one thing in mind, getting back to the finals and finishing unfinished business.
Well,
The Mystics are just a step.
They got a puncher's
I still
chance
think
because you
they-
got Christy Tolliver and Elena
that's all
Dillon.
it
I think they
They
have a
didn't have
better
that.
chance this season than they've had in the past.
because they got
I
two
didn't have a
stars.
They got a
chance. I
great
said they're going to get
chance.
swept. I didn't say they didn't have a chance.
I don't
They're
agree with
in the
sweep.
series.
You want to say they at least take one?
I say they're going to take one.
You want to bet those
I give
pizzas?
them one
you
L.
want to bet those pizzas?
We'll bet the pizzas. We're going to put
You
it
want
on
to go
film.
double up the pieces
We're going
you
to double up
already
the
owe
pieces.
me?
Double or nothing.
And
I say they
remember, if the Mystics are playing with house money,
Yeah.
you
They got
take
nothing to
one
lose.
game,
Yes.
and it's close inside the last 5 minutes of Game 3. Hey,
They played
we've
3
seen-
times, and the point spread has been 17
It does-
points per
Look,
game in those 3
that-
games.
in that regular
The
season-
Liberty had
But
beat
the
them by
Liberty
25.
had-
The last game of the season, when Minnesota had to win to get home court advantage throughout the playoffs, they
But the
busted
Mystics had
the
nothing on the
Mystics
line.
by
The Mystics had
16.
nothing on
They
the
had
line.
That's-
nothing.
you know,
Ella,
Yes.
she wasn't playing in that game.
Well, let's defer our predictions. Well, we already got Coach.
And you know Papa John's has extra large pieces.
I love Papa John's.
We've already got Coach
meats.
Fly's prediction that the Mystics are going to get swept. But before we move on to that series, we got to look back to Christy Tolliver and her 32.9 3-point effort, and we've got this package. Check it out.
Yeah, it's playoff time. It's you lose, you go home. I mean, we want to win. We want to make a deep run in this playoff situation. And so, I didn't come here to be a passive, tentative player. I came here to dominate, to lead. And what better place to do it than Madison Square Garden? Just because you missed 4 shots. I'm 30 years old. Maybe if I was 23, my thought process would have been different. But I've kind of grown up since then. And it was just, I knew this was such a great opportunity for our team. We believed we could win. And it was just a refuse to lose attitude.
Greatest thing about Christy is that, as a general rule, you can miss shots early, and that doesn't change her mindset. And I think that to win at this level and to win in big games, you have to have, several players. We've got 2 of them sitting right here who don't mind pressure shots, and you can't be shy about the situation. And I think that speaks to their level of play. It's certainly why I spend most of my winter trying to figure out a way to get them. So. I mean, the credit's all theirs for just coming out and believing in what we're doing.
She's such a knowledgeable player, and at times she's quiet, but this is a whole new her. This is playoff, we call her Panda, so this is playoff Panda. And she's such a great leader and such a knowledgeable player that I feel like just being on court with her, I've learned so much. And we're still learning one another's games, but I'm starting to know what she likes. She knows what I like. We get each other in those right spots, and just have fun playing together. It's a blast. I mean, she's unreal. So to be on court with someone of that caliber, but also with that leadership and that knowledge, it makes things easy for us.
Thank you to CTV for that package. That was a great game. So, Coach Fly, we're going on record right now.
on record.
You said sweep, I said 1. You got it? Papa John's, I like the meats.
I like
We don't
the
really
Lynx.
care what he likes. Mark
Because you already owe me a lot.
We're going double or nothing. We are going double or nothing. I really don't think with Deladon now added to the mix, and now that Christy Tolliver is awake and understands that you've been brought here for a purpose, I don't see them getting swept by the Lynx. I don't see a
them
sweep.
swept either.
I don't
have
see
a
it.
deep team. The point guard Whalen's coming back. Their bench players have Olympic gold medals. This team is locked, loaded, and they're
me ask
going
you
to
something,
beat
though.
the
They didn't go
Mystics.
undefeated.
Can I ask
No,
you,
they
Coach?
did not.
Doesn't Carmelo Anthony have Olympic gold medals?
We're not talking about Carmelo.
No. What,
talking about
what does
But
an
we're
Olympic
referencing
gold
them.
medal
We're
have to
referencing
do?
them.
If you're on the USA, you're going to
Right.
get a gold medal.
Because the experience, we're talking about the experience of their bench. as
Christy
opposed
Tolliver's
to
got a
the-
Christy
championship from
Tolliver
last
has-
year against Minnesota.
And they
some
probably
turf
wanna-
championships too, right?
They probably
some
want
turf.
to, return the favor in this series. All I'm saying is, I hope the Mystics win. Then we'll have more home games at the Capital One Center. Maybe Ed will send me down there for a game. But I just don't see it.
Well, there are a lot. I'm sure that not too many people in this area once saw Villanova beating Georgetown. We
None.
saw how that worked out too, right?
That was a one and
There
done
are a lot of
game.
people who didn't see Villanova
This is the
beating
best of
North
5
Carolina
series.
a couple of years ago, right?
One and done. If this was
Okay.
one and done, I'd say, they got a 50-50 shot.
You don't give them a puncher's chance with those two superstars?
This team, I watched Minnesota play several games.
So that's a
and I
no?
watched the Mystics.
That's a
They
no.
don't have the personnel to deal with Maya Moore. I think she'll be a difference. Fowles an MVP candidate down in the post. And they can take away the three-point shot. And the Mystics are going to need the three-point shot to upset them.
Did you see the three-pointers she was making? Those are shots you dare somebody to take.
Oh, yeah.
She was shooting
look,
from
I
beyond the
give her-
NBA
She's
line.
always
I'm giving her
shot it from
credit.
there,
She had a
though. Even as
career
Turk.
game in Madison Square Garden. All that's wonderful. But now you move on to best 3 out of 5 series, not one and done. And in those types of situations is in professional basketball, the better team normally pans out. And I'm saying that's the Lynx. And I'm saying they're going
I'm
to
saying
sweep.
it's the Mystics. It's not going to be a sweep. I give Lynx one game.
All right.
Wow.
Maybe, and it'll be a close game.
Ed, if you're listening, what you like on your pizza? Nikki, Coach Nikki Blues buying.
How about the Mystics in it's a 3 out of 5 series? How about the Mystics in 5? How about that?
That's your prediction.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
I'm gonna roll with it. I mean, never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Nope.
How about destiny? Every once in a while,
sounds like a
Time.
every
It's
once in
their
a while,
time.
there's little pixie dust that makes
Yes.
its way to the sneakers. There may be some, Mystics pixie dust.
Yes.
They
I
said-
hope
I
so.
believe
I
it's
would
their
not. I would
turn.
like
It's
nothing
their
than
turn.
DMV to get
Mark,
a championship.
I know this is a
level
Roundball
team.
report, but wasn't Howard underdog by 45 points?
Exactly.
And they-
and
and
if
they
you
won.
if you put $100 on Howard, you made $55K.
You really
Anything
did.
is possible.
They also had a
Anything.
quarterback with NFL DNA in it.
Well, no,
That
he's
nobody
a
knew
little guy.
about.
He's
They've got a point
little.
guard that just set the WNBA record for three-pointers.
Who has the NCAA championship
And a
ring under
WNBA
him, and a
Yes,
WNBA
and
title.
WNBA.
Who knows how to win?
But she was playing for the LA Sparks.
Okay, so she
what is the
brings
curse
So
of
she brought
Washington?
it back.
championship Saturday to
Here.
The curse of the boule. It is over Washington.
You're gonna have to go
I'm a
back.
Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, you've been in Baltimore too
Right,
long,
you've been in
man.
Baltimore too long.
The
I do not
defeated
root for
town.
Baltimore teams.
Yeah, but you've been soiled by the disappointment of Charm City.
I know this. Ed is going to love this. We've just run out of time to
Pittsburgh
talk
guy.
about the WNBA
Yeah.
segment.
Show's over
we
already.
got to go to a break. We're going to turn the page and talk NBA hoops, and we're going to talk about, since we've been off for the what was it, Labor Day, right?
Yes.
Labor Day holiday. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Kyrie Irving blockbuster trade to Chicago, to Boston, and the impact it's going to have on the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
We'll have our two experts
shook
weigh in
him
with
up.
that right after this, so stay with us.